Hey guys, Recruiter Preston here. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Preston. I'm a professional recruiter. I'm now scaling my agency, been doing so for about 10 years. So if you're looking for your next dream job, you're looking to hire for your team, or you're looking to become a recruiter, really appreciate you coming in and checking us out here. But if you're excited about this video, feel free to give us a like, subscribe, click that bell. It would really mean a lot. So in this video, I want to talk about how you can become a recruiter in 2024 moving forward, and all the different ways that you can kind of think about doing so if you want. So whether you're looking to kind of start part-time or full-time, I got you. This video is just for you. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's talk about part-time, right? I think recruiting is one of those things where you can totally start part-time. If anything, it's something that I really recommend. You're not being stupid, you're not being reckless, you're not just, taking on that full risk, taking that plunge, quitting your job to start a whole nother business. A lot of that is really risky. And I want to make sure that if you're going to do it properly, I don't want you to be stressed out financially. You got to be in the best, most calm mind state as you can, right? A lot is going to be coming at you really fast. Some new experiences, some old experiences, some, things that you're familiar with, going 100 miles an hour, juggling multiple plates. It can be very overwhelming. So the people that are intrigued by recruiting, maybe they have a full-time recruiting job, or maybe they have a non-recruiting job, but they want to start something part-time. Recruiting is one of those things where 100% you can do that. In fact, we've helped someone who has a full-time job do about over 6 figures of placements outside of his job this year alone. It's kind of crazy, right? And initially when he approached us, he wanted to actually start his own agency, but he's like, you know what? I have a full-time job. It's not that stressful. I'm getting benefits from it. I'm starting like a freelance side hustle recruiting thing. With your help, I was able to make like a 6 figures plus. Like, life is good. I don't really have as much desire to start anything full-time and take on that extra risk. And that's great. I think a lot of people who want to become recruitment entrepreneurs, who want to start their own agency, you might have aspirations to like have a team and all that good stuff. But don't forget, guys, recruiting is one of these things. I know it's a little tangent from this video, but recruiting is one of those things where you can have an amazing life as a solo recruiter, or as kind of a, doing it on the side part-time as a side hustle, right? The average placement in recruitment, if you do direct contingency, should be around $20,000 to $30,000 US dollars one time in your pocket. Imagine doing 5 of those, that's 6 figures. Imagine 10 of those a year, that's almost $200,000 minimum a year, right? Now imagine if you do like 5 placements a year. The best thing is if you do recruiting on the side and you already have a recruiting job, are you struggling with getting responses from clients? Are you an established recruiter who is struggling to break 6 figures and beyond? Are you looking to start recruiting part-time and you don't know how? Do you feel burned out and stuck spending hours and hours each day in manual tasks like sourcing and outreaching, and feeling like you have no time to actually run and grow your business? I am absolutely happy to announce that we have launched our own recruitment, educational, and coaching program to help you on your journey. We made sure that everything I've learned in the past 10 years, the tips, the strategies that really helped me build multiple 7 figures of placements on my own desk with some of the best companies in the world, will be included in there. We'll also be including things like how you can build an acquisition system that brings in clients every month to your agency hands-free, how you can maximize the probability of a positive close during negotiations, how you can automate and outsource your day-to-day operations so that you don't have to spend hours per day researching or sourcing, how you can figure out the new and modern way to scale your agency that minimizes risk and maximize your upside potential. And we've also included much more. The best thing about this is not only will you be getting amazing content, but we will also handhold you and be with you every step of the way to make sure that you are held accountable and you crush your goals. We'll also share with you our own tech stack, tools and plugins we actually use, plus everything else we know about automation and AI to help you save time, work smarter, and not be a slave to your business. The exciting news is that we've actually rolled this out to a select few people earlier this year, and I'm excited to see them well on the way to multiple 6 figures, with some breaking $30,000 to $50,000 per month already. So if you're interested to be a successful recruiter that can dominate in any market conditions, make sure you click on the link below to chat with another member of our team, and we're happy to chat with you to see if we can help you out. Make sure you jump on this really quickly. See you on the other side. On top of a full-time job, that's crazy. And the best thing is, if you do recruiting on the side and you already have a recruiting job, whatever you're going through, and if you're going through a program or a course or a mentorship, or you're learning, right? You're investing in yourself to start your own side hustle. What you're learning now can also help you in your recruiting job now. So it's like a level up at your current job, possibly get promoted, possibly increase your earning potential. You give yourself an opportunity to start something on the side with the opportunity to start something full-time. If it does well, it's a win-win-win. I mean, it's literally a no-brainer. But I think I digress. Let's go back. So when you're thinking about part-time, there's a couple of things to think about. Number one, you can just kind of go through the freelance route, right? I think this is really great for people who just don't want that extra ambition or stress of starting their own thing. They're like, you know what, I just want to freelance. I know how to do candidates. I'm not really bothered about going out there and finding my own clients. And whether through splits platforms or freelance platforms, you're just okay with that, right? Trying your best to do one or a couple placements, every month, every other month. Life is great, and that's fantastic. The only thing that you need to be worried about is a couple things. Number one, you give all of the control and the rules and the power to these platforms and communities. If they disappear, you're just gonna have to go find another one, right? You're just not really exercising that muscle or learning that extra skill set to go out there and develop and bring your own clients. And the second thing is again, you're not setting yourself for success if you, in terms of starting a 360 desk as a side hustle, right? You're not really learning the sales, demand gen, kind of the client acquisition, lead generation. You're not really creating and massaging those skills to go out there and find your own clients. And if that's the case, again, there's nothing wrong with that, but you're not really giving yourself an opportunity to evolve or go beyond freelancers. But if all you want is freelance, yeah, of course, I think just find some partners, find a splits community, find a platform, and do your best there. The only issue, again, is just understanding that's probably the best that you can do. And if you want to start a 360 desk, you're gonna have to kind of track backwards and learn how to do all of that again, especially if there's a huge knowledge gap or deficiency. Now, the second thing is to start recruiting part-time on the side with the intention wow, I want to do it my way. I want the seed to become my agency. But before I take that plunge and quit my job, I want to start a proper side hustle, and I want to learn everything 360 from client acquisition, candidates, and putting it all together. Now, again, this will be a little bit harder, right? Because now you're learning A to Z, how to run successful 360 desks. If you don't know how to do that already, you're going to have to really deep dive on client acquisition, there's best practices, how to do it manually, how to leverage the right automations or softwares to help you do it better. And then you're going to have to learn how to find the candidate side. If you don't know how to do that already, put it together, how to manage the whole interview process, the offer process, hoping ultimately that leads to an offer, right? Now, the cons of that is it's more work, it's more learning. But the upside is that you're literally creating and understanding the foundation so that if you do want to develop or create a bigger business, have a bigger team, now you have a strong understanding A to Z on what you need to do to not only make sure that you're profitable, but if you bring someone else on board, you know exactly what to do to make sure that they're successful and profitable as well. Really, again, creating that foundation that you can leverage on by choice if you want to evolve your side hustle into a full-time business, right? Again, freelance platforms, splits communities in this scenario are great, but they're more secondary, they're more supplemental so that you can always be busy in case that, you're taking a little bit more time with client acquisition, getting your leads in. Combination of those two things to make sure you're really busy outside of your full-time job. Takes more work, takes more investment, takes more dedication, but the upside is uncapped. Whereas if all you do is, hey, I'm a full-time recruiter right now, I know how to find candidates, I just want to plug into some of these platforms, that's great. But again, your future, your destiny, your control is completely at the mercy of these platforms, and you don't have control. You can't really change the rules of engagement or criteria. It's very hard for you to develop relationships with clients because you have to usually go through these platforms, and they like to kind of control everything or keep you arm's length as much as possible. But ultimately, again, you don't have the control. And if you want to have as much influence over your future and destiny, you gotta have as much control, and the ball has to be in your court as much as possible so you can make the right decisions. So again, side hustle is gonna force you to properly learn everything. Now, the reason why you should do that is because in recruitment, it's effectively a sales business. Even if you have aspirations to start a team, to grow a team, you can't effectively lead people if you haven't done it yourself, right? Even if you have the unlimited budget, yes, you can of course hire people, but you gotta hopefully at that scenario partner with someone who has a good track record, who knows how to, identify, train, and qualify and create highly profitable recruiters. But if you don't have anyone like that in your life, might as well just learn it yourself, right? And so learn it yourself, create that desk, create an extremely profitable side hustle, and then you can decide if you want to go further into the horizon. That's your choice. Now, when it comes to full-time, there's a couple things that you can do. So full-time is you can go out there and get a full-time agency job. Most entry-level recruiting jobs that you'll probably find out there are being hired by agency. And I think that if you want to really break into recruiting, and whether or not you have aspirations on wanting to start your own business, I highly recommend you go out there and get a job. Why? Because you might end up hating recruiting, or you might end up loving it. It's a very great litmus test for you to go through to be able to kind of make that decision on your own. Secondly, if you go out there and you get an entry-level agency job, most likely the training will be absolutely critical. It could be a fantastic launch pad for you to start your own thing, because most likely if they're a 360 agency, or your entry-level job is a 360 desk, they're going to teach you everything you need to know anyway to be successful if you want to make it on your own. So again, here it could be a fantastic litmus test. Like, is this for me? Is this not for me? me, oh my God, I hate rejection. Oh my God, I hate cold calling. I hate cold emailing. Never want to do it again. Then hey, that's a great way for you to kind of make that decision in a safe, more of a safer environment, having a job than using your precious life savings or nest egg, taking that plunge, going full time, and then getting stressed out and really just, feeling like you're drowning. Like that's like the hardest route that you want to take. And second, again, if you do really well in agency, I think there's a higher probability that you can succeed working for yourself, because if you can crush it in an agency setting, if you can absolutely crush it on the 360 setting, that's what you need to do anyway, starting your own agency. Then it's literally, you have less to learn, you have less to ramp up on. It's more about the psychology, the emotions, and just like the business incorporating stuff that you need to just be able to learn ASAP, so that boom, you can just launch your business really quickly. Now, the second way is you can get a full-time corporate internal job. Now, there's a lot less internal recruitment jobs, especially in the US, on the corporate internal side. Most of the more junior corporate internal recruiting jobs out there tend to require at least 1 to 3 years of professional recruitment experience. And if you're coming with zero experience, you're gonna have to do your best to try to luck out on trying to find like an entry-level corporate internal job, or again, go the previous route, try to find a job at an agency, stay there for a year or two, work your butt off, establish a good track record, and then you can switch over and develop, additional skill sets at a corporate internal job. Now, if you want to start your own thing, I think again, you should have agency experience one time in your life. So go to the agency side, stay at the agency side, or if you just kind of want to feel like, maybe I don't know if I want to start my own agency, but maybe I'm kind of more interested in the corporate internal side of recruiting, then absolutely start at the agency route, switch over to the internal route, and see if that kind of aligns better with who you are, your skills, your interests, personalities, and all that good stuff. Now, the last thing that you can do full time is just taking that plunge, ripping off the band-aid. If you have a job, you quit it. If you don't have a job, you just start right now to start a recruitment business and hope for the best, right? I think this is the hardest, most challenging route that you can do. I think a couple of things that would make it easier is if you started a business before, if you had a sales job before, where you are accustomed to starting each month from scratch, or accustomed to experiencing rejection or failure every single day, having to cold call, cold email, right? That is a huge part of starting any business, specifically a recruitment agency. You had experience before doing something tangential, so maybe you worked at like marketing, did a lot of cold marketing or business development, you worked as an SDR or BDR, right? A lot of these things are transferable to recruiting, especially in day one, where a lot of it will be focused on client acquisition, or people that just honestly have thick skin and they don't mind just working and going all in the beginning. If you've been watching me for a while, you know that I basically documented my journey for almost the past 4 years, and I'm no stranger when it comes to talking about the first couple years working for myself as a solo recruiter. I went all in. Sure, I could have probably found ways to work smarter and save time by using technology, but I think starting any business, you have to be willing to go all in, and you have to be willing to make sacrifices and be okay with that lifestyle as it's completely temporary, so that you can create a lifestyle beyond that that could be one where most people don't have, right? I think entrepreneurism is like this hardest thing that you're ever gonna do. You're gonna have to be willing to be extremely uncomfortable in the beginning, so that hopefully if everything works out, you can live a life that's different or more comfortable than those who didn't take the uncomfortable route or all that risk of working for yourself. So you have to be okay with that. You have to embrace it. You have to go all in. I also recommend you want to have at least 6 to 12 months of savings minimum. And when you do this, you have to also have kind of a long-term horizon. Don't come in and tell yourself, I'm just gonna try this recruiting thing out for 30 days or 60 days. I think it's impossible to create a strong foundation with that mindset. I think starting a business is a big decision, and it should be treated with the appropriate gravitas, as it's a huge life decision and should have a huge impact in your life. And so if you're gonna do it, tell yourself, I'm gonna be in it for the next year or two. I'm gonna have enough nest egg to make sure I'm okay for the next 6, 12 months. I'm gonna go all in, and I'm gonna really do what I can to develop and level up my skill set, from client acquisition to automations to candidate acquisition to client management, interview management, all that stuff, and try my best over and over and over and over again. So I think while that's the hardest route, the biggest benefit you have is you basically have your full schedule, you have a full-time commitment that you can just dive in heads deep and just muscle your way and just make it happen. I think doing things part-time is the safer route, but it could be more challenging from the perspective